Hello everyone, Sandra here. So in this video we're going to talk about Scaramouche. Exactly who is he and exactly what did he do to piss off the traveler are the two questions we're going to answer. Before we get started, the Baal giveaway is still going on. All you have to do is like, comment and subscribe in the video linked below, and that's all you need to do to enter for the giveaway. And also, if you haven't already, please check out my Baal's video, which is the early one before this one. That one covers the intention of Baal and exactly who is the real Electro Archon. So with this said, let's get started. So unlike the first time we saw Scaramouche in the 1.1 event, Scaramouche right now is showing up as the bad guy right away. So let's uncover his identity first, and from there we can work out his intentions very easily. So first, let's talk about the interesting question of his age. He is number 6 of the Fatui Harbinger. Now of course the numbers are not exactly by age, but the numbers can give us a good estimate of who is older than who guaranteed, because if there is a huge gap between the two, then the number of, say, the number 1 is guaranteed to be older than number 2 if there's a huge gap. So in that case, given that La Senora, aka the Crimson Witch of Flames, is 500 plus years old, if you haven't already, I have an entire video on that, you can check it out. Scaramouche being number 6 is guaranteed to be, if not older than Senora, but at least he is guaranteed to be 500 years old. And this leaves his sort of birth at a very good spot for the video. So next let's take a look at his appearance. So from a front, if you look side by side, his facial features share very close resemblance with that of Raiden Shogun. And from the back, his hairstyle basically looks like a copy of Raiden's hairstyle with the long braid cut off. So this leads to the guess that many people have been theorizing about, that Scaramouche is a clone of Baal, and I believe that guess is correct. But I believe one thing to make sure to note is that the Fatui did not clone him. The Fatui did not steal Baal's DNA and clone Scaramouche. Baal is the one that actually cloned Scaramouche. In other words, Scaramouche is probably the first and at least one of the failed prototypes of the current Raiden Shogun's clones model. So if that makes sense, the real Raiden Shogun is sitting in her own dimension. The Raiden Shogun that is acting out the Vision Hunt Decree is a clone of the real Raiden Shogun, and this Scaramouche is another clone of the real Raiden Shogun, except this clone failed, or Baal did not like this clone for some reason in the end. So overall, he got abandoned, and this is why he is going to come back and seek revenge to the Raiden Shogun. Now, exactly why Scaramouche is a boy and Baal is female, I am not aware of this, but we do know that even though Archon technically have genders, but they can't assume any gender of their choice during their alias, so it's possible that Baal wanted to assume the alias of a male gender in the beginning, but later decided to switch to female for some reason. So this can be very clear of Scaramouche's so-called birth. So after 500 years ago, after the destruction of Korea, which led to the death of Kitsune Sagu, who is one of Baal's closest friends, and Baal started acting out the idea behind the Vision Hunt Decree. She started to lock herself up within her own dimension, and she constructed clones of herself to rule over Inazuma instead of her. Scaramouche is probably one of the first clones to be made and was deemed unsuccessful, so he was abandoned. However, throughout this process, Scaramouche somehow awakened his own consciousness as a totally separate being, then left Inazuma about 500 years ago. And this also explains why he was recruited by the Jester, which is the first of the Fatui Harbingers, around 500 years ago. This also explains why his number is number 6, which is before La Senora's number 8. And from after that, Scaramouche is now returning to Inazuma to seek revenge on Baal for, leaving him like that. And again, so basically in this case, La Senora's primary goal here is for Gnosis, whereas Scaramouche's primary goal here is for the revenge. Now exactly how he is going to carry out the revenge, this screenshot can tell you all. So as we can see, there is a ton of crystal marrows behind Scaramouche in this screenshot. Now exactly how did he get his hands on so many crystal marrows? Basically, the Fatui bought their way through the Kanjo Commission of Inazuma. Not only do they have access to the Yashori Island to collect crystal marrows themselves, on top of that, the Kanjo Commission has also been working with them to the degree that they have changed the tax to foreigners from Mora to crystal marrows. So they have to use crystal marrows to access a tax. In this case, the Fatui is on large quantity of crystal marrows. Now exactly what is crystal marrow? Crystal marrow is of course the byproduct left behind by the giant serpent on Yashori Island. In Johnny's words, they are basically malice left behind that Xiao had to deal with in Liu's case. However, in Inazuma's case, this item does have the same side effect as the malice in Liu and any other malice left by Archon has, which includes soil pollution, weather pollution, causing mental distortion, causing hallucination, making people sick, making people crazy, and the list pretty much goes on. And the Fatui must be fully aware of this because, after all, in the manga, which is set around 5 to 10 years before the arrival of the Traveler, Ray, one of the Fatui Harbingers, did experiment on kids by injecting them with malice left over by Archons to attempt to let them control the power of the lost Archons, so they must be fully aware of this side effect. As a result, so Scaramouche's final plan is pretty clear. So he's gonna dump crystal marrows all over Narukami Island and basically turn it into another Yashori Island as we first saw when we arrived there, basically destroying Baal's plan of Euphoria. And with both Baal and Scaramouche's plan pretty clear, we can now easily make out a theoretical scenario for Inazuma's story ending. So essentially, Scaramouche is going to carry out his plan of dumping crystal marrows everywhere. Baal is going to discover that plan and attempt to stop him. She is going to be successful at stopping him, but weakening herself significantly in the process. Then La Senora and Scaramouche will find the opportunity to take her Gnosis. However, when the Traveler is done and Scaramouche and La Senora is planning on finally killing Baal, people like Ayaka or Yaimiko or someone important is going to arrive and save Baal. Afterwards, Baal without the Gnosis is going to understand the real meaning behind Inazuma's eternity and is going to instead stop the Vision Hunt decree and everything is going to go back to normal. So that is basically my idea on how the plan is going to go. Now of course, by the time this video is released, the quest is probably going to go live within 3 to 4 hours. So do come back in the comment section and let me know if I was somewhat correct or horribly wrong. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. Thank you and have a nice day.